News First, Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.
And a very good evening to you and welcome to Newsline Live. And for once, we're starting on time. And that's probably all to do with our guest this evening. He is, of course, the commander of Sri Lanka's army. He's also the head of the CDS and in charge of the COVID committee in an attempt to bring this all to a conclusion. He's right here with us, and none other than Lieutenant General Shavendra Silva. Very good evening to you, Commander, and welcome to Newsline.
Good evening. Thank you.
Thank you for fitting us in between what we know is a very busy schedule.
Pleasure to be here.
Commander, I want to ask you, obviously the public are all wanting to know how Sri Lanka is coping with COVID, especially after this latest outbreak.
Of course, after this outbreak, before that, of course, you know that we have managed to get the situation, the COVID situation under control within 50 days. In Sri Lanka, the COVID started with the first COVID patient on the 11th of March. Then by 30th of April, we finished from the society. Although we had one or two cases from Polonnaru area where Kandakadu case, in regard to Kandakadu case, we had in even August. But basically we could say that within 50 days we finished with the society where we found the last patient. So thereafter, what happened? I don't have to tell you.
Yeah.
Entire Sri Lanka knows what happened thereafter. People were so relaxed, didn't bother to practice the health practices, best practices that they followed. With lot of difficulties, with lot of devotion, they managed to get this situation under control during that period. But they forgot, I believe that most of the people forgot, not everyone. It's unfair to say, but some people, especially who came on to the society, forgot that. Although we told even gatherings how much it should be, it was not adhered to. So therefore, we feel that, and we did a bit of a mistake there. However, it's the history now. So you ask about situation with the new outbreak here. So on 3rd, we found a positive case from a factory in Minuwangoda, and thereafter, once we found this particular lady, immediately we got the family to a quarantine center, and we tested them and found that the daughter is also positive the following day, but not the immediate other family members, not other children. So we had few actions, the steps that we took immediately to ensure that it will not go to the society. So all what we did was, initially when we found that, as you know that we have been the best in contact tracing, I believe that in the world, I could say, not only in some parts of the country. So we started off doing contact tracing, and immediately we found that she had got this most likely from the factory itself. And when we were doing the contact tracing, we realized that she may not be the first patient in that factory. And according to her and according to the information, we found that there had been few people who have been having cough and cold, and they have been taking treatment from this particular medical room within the factory.
I see.
And that had been the case. So we were trying to target as to from where it came from to her, and our target group was approximately about 150. That was she was working in a line in a building where she had about 70 people working there. Then also she had traveled in a company transport where they had 42 people there. Then she had a few meetings where a few people were there, and things like that. When we calculate, it was almost about 150 the target group. So immediately, and also we found that, most importantly, we found that there were about 33 who had this cough and cold there. So we started from those 33, and the balance 150 we immediately did. And then they found that out of these 150, about 101 got positive the following day.
Right.
So we knew that we were correct in our assumptions, and also we found that we went through the records and found that although this particular lady who had these symptoms on the 28th but gone to hospital on the 30th,
right,
and by the time she got herself admitted to the hospital, she had gone not as like a COVID patient for some other thing. Then, however, thanks to the system that we practice here, the doctors are being advised in every hospital to do a random PCR test for COVID, at least 10 per day in various hospitals.
Right.
So in that manner, this is coincident, the doctors have taken a PCR test and found on the 3rd that she is positive.
It's an amazing piece of luck, really.
Yes, definitely. Then in the meantime, we found that there had been, as I mentioned, that from 21st onwards, there had been cases reported to this room.
Right, the medical
room. According to information till yesterday, we were told that it's from 21st recorded. But when we interrogate on contact tracing, even we found this morning that there have been a case. We have to verify that a person who says that he was not well on the 15th also. Okay. So this is where it stands. This is where I believe that now this is not the first patient. There would have been this thing a few days before when we detected.
And Commando, is there any truth in the claim that this particular company's staff returned from India, where there is also one of their own facilities there, and that it is the returnees were foreign nationals and that they actually went to the factory? Is there any truth in that claim?
Of course, it's like this. There had been 3 flights.
Yeah.
They have brought Bandix group from Visakhapatnam, India.
Yeah.
Sri Lankans. First of all, no foreigners.
No foreigners.
No foreigners.
Okay.
According to the records that we have, confirmed records, they have brought 3 flights. One was about the first flight with about 190 odd. Then also another that was on June 25th. Then August 8th they have brought another 125, and finally what is circulating within the social media is the question on the 22nd of September.
Right.
Now the first 2 flights, of course, yes, they have brought, and all of them, all 3 instances, they had been quarantined in a hotel. So once all 3 flights have come to Mattala airport,
right,
and from Mattala usually the Sri Lanka army takes over, and they were brought and quarantined under Sri Lankan army a guard in a hotel. We basically protect to ensure that the staff or the people who get quarantined are not allowed to go out from the hotel. So we have secured them in doing the quarantining inside those hotels. So I think I don't have to mention about the first 2 flights, mainly because we are concerned about the third flight. Last flight, yes. The last flight, there had been 48 passengers came from Visakhapatnam.
Right.
And when they came here, they have done their PCR test before they came. And once they came, they have done a PCR test. Once again, before they left, they have done another PCR test. None of these tests in this 22nd flight have found that they have any COVID patients.
Right.
Now, they came to the hotel on the 22nd, and the 14 days finished on the 6th day before evening.
Right.
So on day before only that they have gone out.
Right.
So therefore, what social media says about that there was a mix and somebody had gone to the factory, Bandis factory in Minuangoda, it is unacceptable. We can't believe that.
There is no
truth in it, because they have no way, because from the airport that army takes over and bring them to the hotel, and we have kept quarantining them. on the 6th. So before 6th this had happened, so there was no chance of getting that. But the previous 2 flights, of course, 2 flights we brought, I told you, on the 25th and August 8th.
Yeah.
There had been 9 positive cases in the first flight,
right,
and there had been 1 positive case in the second flight. So that was the case in regard to the question that you asked.
And the Army is in charge of all quarantine facilities.
All quarantine centers in the country are basically manned by 3 services,
right,
Army, Navy, Air Force, all 3.
Right.
But out of that, the government quarantine centers, mostly government quarantine centers run by the about like 80% are by the Army, and like 10% like Navy and Air Force,
right,
depending on. We basically try to keep only in the Army. If we have a bit of a outflow only, then we try to get the Navy and Air Force.
Right.
Then when it comes to private, like the hotel quarantining,
yeah,
any flight crews coming to BIA is under the Sri Lanka Air Force.
Right.
They have been looked after by them. Then also in regard to Mattala, it is the same. Air Force is looking after the flight crews. Then other than that, any other hotel quarantining from hotels, it is only under the Army.
right,
But we also have some seafarers coming to the country. That is being handled by Sri Lanka Navy, Army and Sri Lanka Navy for that matter. So this hotel quarantining basically like 100% is by the Army except for these 2 places.
Yeah.
So those are paid quarantine.
But nevertheless, the sort of people, the passengers, the clients are confined to their rooms.
Yes, of course, they can't mix up even.
Right.
Now, although they are in like hotels, Citrus, Blue
Yeah.
Waters, and even now Sheraton, these people were in
Yeah.
Sheraton,
Yeah.
they are confined only to that room.
Right.
So, if they have taken a room, sharing room, 2 people are there, then of course only 2 are there.
In there.
If they have taken 1 individual room each, then of course they stay, but they have no chances of meeting the others,
Right.
in the hotel, because we are strictly told that not to mix up. And there is no hotel, although these are 4-star hotels or 5-star, no buffet and things like that, no other facilities. We have strictly told menu that for 14 days, and other than that, over and above they can give
Yeah.
in a goodwill.
Yeah.
But other than that, they are not supposed to come out and come out.
And who does the actual implementation? Is it members of the forces, or is it the hotel staff who?
No, it is by the hotel staff.
Right.
We have told skeleton staff to maintain. We can't take a chance with the staff also. So at the reception, and few people who are supposed to take their food and keep near the door.
Right.
And also for the changing of linen, what they give everything.
Right.
But hardly, although those are 300, 200 room hotels, they won't get involved in that. Basically, only at the doorsteps it's been kept, that's it.
And Commander, what happens to the staff, the hotel staff, at the end of 14 days?
Yeah, once the people, those who have come for quarantining,
Yeah.
once they go out, basically decontamination is being done by them. They are supposed to do that. Then we don't put another group for another 3-4 days for these purposes.
Right.
And thereafter, the staff, you asked the question about the staff, no one is allowed to go home during this period.
The 14 days.
Not only 14 days, if they are there, they have to stay until such time they want to go on leave. If they want to go on leave, there's another separate place in, not only in that hotel, maybe close by. We have seen that places, we have given approval. They have to get quarantining for 14 days before they go home. Any hotel staff will not be allowed to go home or to the society without getting quarantined for 14 days.
And are those staff also tested with the PCR test?
Of course. No, basically we do that.
Right.
And then only send. Usually what happens is that they've been 14 days and thereafter they test and they send back to their residence. That is what we normally do.
Right. And apart from this cluster, the latest one, the Minuwangoda case, if you like, how are we coping? Are we doing well? Our figures seem to be, when you compare it to international figures, our figures very down. But almost every other flight, you find some people coming in. How are you coping with that?
Other than this situation at the Minuwangoda factory, we have been doing very well. We could say that just think about the countries around this Sri Lanka and also the most powerful nations around the world, how they are coping up with COVID. When there have been, now last week you would have seen that even Europe, how they had 70,000, 80,000 per day.
Yeah.
So whereas Sri Lanka had maybe 10 maximum or 6, 7. That is also from the people, the returnees from abroad. They are our Sri Lankans who live abroad, and we are our responsibility to bring them back to Sri Lanka. Whoever who wants to come to Sri Lanka, they should be allowed. As far as they are Sri Lankans, they should be allowed to come. So that is why the government of Sri Lanka, His Excellency the President, Prime Minister, the government took a decision that even though it's little difficult, that we will bring all Sri Lankans back, whoever who want to come back, return back to the country. So we did that. So we have been bringing flights, although we had, as you very rightly mentioned, few cases coming from each flight, but can't help. There are people, we have to look after them.
We can't just abandon them.
No way, no way.
Our program is being watched live from viewers across the world, live on Facebook and so on. And we have regular followers, and I know that our viewers out in the Middle East will be watching and listening intently to what you say. Thank you for your questions by SMS 0772 300 305. We're in conversation with the Commander of Sri Lanka's Army, Lieutenant General Shavendra Silva. Can we convey to Lieutenant General how very much appreciative we are on the efficient manner in which COVID-19 is managed in Sri Lanka? Hopefully, he will quickly resolve the current wave. And actually, from our network too, thank you for
we are confident that we'll do it. Thank you very much for the whatever the compliments. It's our duty, of course. I am the commander. It's my responsibility. I've been assigned to do that. I am the head of the COVID task force at the operational center. So we will, as you, I mean, I know that people are eagerly waiting to come back. Maybe not in the same pace that they would like to, the same momentum that they would like to. But unfortunately, situations comes here and there. We will never stop bringing Sri Lankans back to Sri Lanka, but maybe at times we stagnate. Even today, as of today, we try to stagnate with the situation. One should understand with this present situation, say we have, as of now, we have 1,034 or something like the COVID patients, and because of them, we have to take each and every individual whom we feel that we should be taken for quarantining. So as at by 6 p.m. today, we have taken from this cluster, we have taken nearly 2,500 for quarantining, and from abroad we have brought more than 45,000, almost 46,000 today, by today, back to Sri Lanka, and they have been quarantined and they went to the society. So we have, as of today in the morning, we had 8,000 people getting quarantined under Sri Lanka Army, Navy and Air Force. But now today we have taken more than 1,500, and it will run up to about 10,000 now. So actually our capacity basically during at the peak days also, we kept at about 8,000, whereas today we are running beyond that. So all we believe that this is for our own people. The military, the three services will go all out and ensure that even though it's difficult, we will get everyone to get quarantined. Even in this situation, the government took a bold decision of taking all the factory workers either to a quarantine center, or those who got positive went to hospitals.
Right.
So first action was closing off, because the schools were supposed to be closed for this term on Friday tomorrow, but it was advanced to Monday. That was a great decision. and thereafter imposed quarantine curfew to most vulnerable places. Thereafter we increased 1 or 2, Gampa and thereafter Vattala and Jayala police divisions. But still, the first thing the President's instruction was to get the entire factory workers to quarantine location. So by then, with the numbers we got positive, we went there, put them on to the hospitals. Balance we took them to quarantine centers, and out of that, some are now from quarantine centers are getting transferred to hospitals.
Right.
So basically, all that was done to ensure that we take everyone like a root ball, to take them from the society, to make sure that there won't be a transmission from them to the society.
And Commander, will you be paying any particular attention to public transport? Every morning I see the commuter train coming in from the south into Colombo, and it's actually chock-a-block, and I see many people without masks. But even if they did wear masks, they are packed like sardines.
Yeah, I mean, from the beginning this had been the case. Initially we told that only the passengers who have the seating capacity can go. Then of course the owners of the bus owners, they had their own issues in regard to that. And also, even if not, as you know, that the passengers who come at the last minute to the road to see that they get the last transportation to the work, where they go at the last minute, and you get jam packed there. Then thereafter going back the same, some are wearing masks, some are not wearing. That is what I told, the situation was like that. But unfortunately, these are the things that shouldn't have happened. But due to maybe lack of the space and lack of transport, the mode of transport, people may be going like that. But we can't afford to do that.
And do you think you'll be making representations to the Transport Ministry and so on to perhaps have more trains?
Of course, now the thing is like that the Honorable Minister, Mr. Diluma Munugoma, I saw that he had told that in regard to the number of passengers who should travel in a bus. So in the meantime, we see some owners of the transport, the buses, they also have certain grievances. I am sure the government is aware of this situation, and also we find that the numbers are little less with the situation coming on. Some people are not reporting to work, maybe put on leave and things like that. I am sure that the government take the necessary steps and action to give the get the more, as you said, if possible, to get more trains or buses, things like that. Yeah.
And Commander, one of the multi-million billion dollar question: what chances of another lockdown all over the island?
As of today, as of now, the way when I'm in your studio, I don't foresee such a situation as of now.
Right.
But COVID is such a dangerous virus. I don't think that you ask this question from the head of World Health Organization or the best doctor in the world. I don't think that anyone will be able to give assumption in regard to this situation, what you're asking. But as of today, with the numbers that we have got, the way that we have studied, we believe that the majority we have taken in. But still, to your knowledge, we had about 16 out of this entire lot where we had these positive cases. They came from different parts of Sri Lanka. Now, since they have gone to their home and they were found from different parts of Sri Lanka, maybe about 14 to 15 cities in Sri Lanka. So there are chances that they would have transmitted this virus to maybe close contacts. So we have to wait and see. The next 7 days is very crucial for entire country, because there can be people here and there. So if that is the case, we'll do the contact tracing and try to. We had this experience, but we believe that I don't think that we'll go for a total lockdown. I don't foresee such a situation, but we all will depend during the next coming few days.
And what about a vaccine? What are we as a nation doing about that?
The vaccine, what can we do when the most powerful nations also had not found?
Right.
Some countries say the Russia, they said they found, China said they have found, but still they are testing. That is not sure.
Right.
So therefore, I can't foresee. I'm not a doctor, but the fact remains that I don't think that any vaccine will come for another 3-4 months minimum.
Right.
So even that we are not sure. So I believe that we can't wait until a vaccine comes. Yes, if it is, if you get a vaccine, it's good. But people country like us will have to do our practical stuff, the best practices to ensure that even without a vaccine, that how we survive without getting COVID by every individual.
Do you foresee a tightening of the regulations, the implementation? Right now it's a suggestion, please wear your mask, please wash your hands, please do this and please do that. Do you foresee a tightening of the regulations if the public want to remain so lax?
Honestly, the regulations, the policies laid down by the Ministry of Health clearly says as to how to stay.
Yeah.
But only thing is not that there are no policies, it is there in place. Unfortunately, it is not been implemented.
Yeah.
That is the situation. So I think very soon there will be another gazette coming out, hopefully, giving certain authority to Sri Lanka police as to those for violators as to what they should do.
Yeah.
Already they are doing something. I think more than that, as you said, for strict compliance, I think there can be something coming out very soon. With that, there will be a bit of a tight situation than what we are practicing today.
You come out as being very positive, and is that positivity throughout all the people working hard to maintain COVID at a low level and doing their best?
Of course, why not? Sri Lanka Army, Navy, Air Force, Police, Health Sector.
They're only the best.
No, they will not. If you see the last 3 days, we have been not sleeping. We were trying to get everybody to quarantine centers, but this is our duty. This is our responsibility. This is our duty to respect and protect the people of this nation, not only from war or other extremist thing, this type of non-traditional things. Of course, we are willing to do that, and we will do, and we will make sure that somehow or other we protect our people in this country.
Lieutenant General Shavendra Silva, thank you ever so much. Thank you for the wonderful service to the nation. Actually, all of you all, every one of you, including the medical force, of course, are what I call the unknown, unsung national treasures. Thank you for the super work that you're doing and to the dedicated service to the nation. Lieutenant General Shavendra Silva, thank you very much for being on Newsline. And that's the way it was this evening on Newsline Live with Lieutenant General Shavendra Silva, the commander of Sri Lanka's army, and other things too. Take care, have a great evening ahead of you, and of course, God bless you.
News First, Newsline.